There's often a point on a gig where everyone doesn't know what to do. You've run out of tunes, and somebody says, "Oh, just do a blues." And I always find that a bit of a throwaway attitude to really the backbone of the whole music. I've been guilty of saying those things myself when I was younger, and there's all kinds of forms of the blues and all kinds of approaches to it. So I'm going to start at the most basic blues. All these forms that we're going to do, some are more, I'm perhaps using the wrong word to say advanced, but they're all different. Some of them are more complicated, some are simpler, but they all exist. They all exist at the same time. And so any one of these sequences can come up at any moment. So I'm going to play you on the piano. Now you will spot that this is not Dave Newton, but I'm going to play the basic chords of a basic blues on my electric piano. So here we go. So if you're looking at if you got the PDFs I sent out, this is basic sequences with melodic ideas. I'm not going to attempt the melody. I'll do that on the saxophone in a minute. But here's the basic chords. That's and we go to the F7, B flat, B flat 13 as it happens, chord 5, C, chord 4, chord 1. Okay, that's the simplest form of the blues that I know, although there is an even simpler one in that some of the early blues players in bar 10, they stayed on the C7. So after your F7, then your B flat, then back to your F7, they went C7, and they stayed on C7, back to F. But you'll very rarely encounter that unless you're playing with one of the older, really old guys. I was lucky enough to play with a couple of people. Champion Jack Dupree was one, and you had to be very on your tail, on your game, because Champion Jack used to play 11.5 bar blues, 9 bar blues, 10 bar blues. If you got the words in, it was time to go back to the top. So those older guys do that a lot if you're listening to some of that old music. Okay, I'll play you the tune I've got written here. And this is the simplest form of playing on the blues, in that you take the basic melodic fragment you're building it around, which is this. So that's kind of the sixth shape of the chord. So that's F. So it's like based around the pentatonic. So that's 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6 of the chord. Okay, so it's a good starting point. It's not the blues scale yet, it's a pentatonic. So here we are, listen. Okay, that last note clearly indicates it's a dominant chord at that point. It doesn't have to be dominant until that point. It could be dominant from the beginning, this sound, the F7, but it could be an F6-9 to start with. It might not be the F7, which sounds great too. So what I'm saying is you have to be listening all the time to know what's going on. Actually, you get away with playing a 7th against a 6-9. It doesn't matter. Jazz isn't that specific. It's not as specific as lots of popular publications would have you believe, that it has to be this scale, that chord. We're more interested in phrases than scales in this kind of music, I find. Okay, so there's your basic one. Bit of chromaticism to make it interesting. Coming up a semitone and then out again. Okay, now the chord goes up a fourth, so the melody goes up a fourth. we take it up to, we transpose it up a tone from the fourth to the. Okay, so that is the simplest form. Not, you haven't even got to turn around to go back to the top. But you'll find lots of Johnny Hodges blues like that. Duke Ellington did blues like that all the time. There's Count Basie blues, and people still play that, often with a shuffle rhythm. Now things advanced fairly quickly to the next sequence, which is, well, I've called it a swing blues, but it's a general all-purpose blues, this one. Now, if you spot what the differences are, look along the sequence. R2 is the first difference. We've got that fourth chord. The fourth chord's already in there. So it's this sound. I'm going to do an F6/9 to start. And then you've heard this sound thousands of times. Bar 2. And then back. Then the F7. Now then.